we have Kathleen Bradley in the building, most known for her role as Miss Parker from the movie Friday. But you actually have a very interesting story outside of that. So I want to get into the whole background of who you are.
Exactly.
So let's go ahead and get started. So you were born in Ohio.
Yeah. Ohio. Ohio. Great place to be from. I'm telling you. I had a wonderful, good childhood there. I'm actually from a place called Girard. It's near a place called Youngstown, which Youngstown used to be known as Bombtown, USA. A lot of mafioso there, which was very exciting. And when I was growing up, I was always really inspired to be an entertainer. I always wanted to have an acting career. And it really worked out for me that everything was just divine in terms of family and the people who were supporting me. And I really, in my high school and grade school, I was, doing different shows and entertaining, and even at home and standing on the little toy box, entertaining with my brother. And, it was a lot of fun. So entertainment has always been in my blood. And that's something that I've always wanted to do. And, as it would have it, like I said, I did different shows in high school and what have you. And in 1971, I came to California, the land of milk and honey and dreams of Hollywood and all that stuff. And I happened to, get into pageantry. And really, I was doing an interview not too long ago, a couple of days ago, and by being a part of the pageantry, and I tell young ladies, it really helps to have exposure, to be able to meet people and go to another level when you're involved in some type of activity such as that, But things have changed so very much now, obviously, with having contact with people and having people contact you or having, to be seen. Back then, we didn't have cell phones and all that, honey, but it did help. And it landed me into some really great positions in life. One being that, first of all, I was Miss Hot Pants. Hot pants, hot pants, and I was Miss Fine Brown Frame. Can you believe it? They were having all those contests going on back there, but that was true. And then I did enter actually in the Miss Black California contest. And that's the one that really helped me put me over the top on the map, as so to speak, because the owner of Mavericks Flats. Have you ever gone to Mavericks Flats? Are you from here?
I'm from here, but I've never been to Mavericks Flat.
But you've heard of Mavericks
Flat. I've heard of it. I've never been there.
Right. And we just celebrated the 50th anniversary of Mavericks Flats like a couple of years ago. And everybody would go there. And it's considered the West Coast Apollo because a lot of actors and entertainers started out there. The Whispers, Chaka Khan's been through there, Richard Pryor, all the athletes, Jim Brown and Pam Grier would come through there. The Commodores, Howard Hewitt. Oh my God, you name it. They were there. Funkadelic. And so when I was in the pageant, it was there at Mavericks Flat. John Daniels got a group together of females, 7 women. 7 girls called the Love Machine. So 7 girls, and then we actually had an 8-piece band, people. All you guys and people out there nowadays have your little tracks and stuff. We actually had a real band, a 5-piece rhythm section and 3 horns. And we traveled all throughout Europe, Italy, Germany, Spain, Belgium, Sweden, Switzerland, Africa, Asia. France was our second home. Our first gig that we ever had and left the States was in Saint-Tropez, the south of France. It was such a wonderful experience, and I even actually had the opportunity to go to Vietnam in the 70s as Miss Black California with the Black Miss America tour. And that in itself was so rewarding, something I will never, ever forget. And we actually had an opportunity to get with Motown Records. We are Motown record recording artists. We worked with Norman Whitfield. Stevie Wonder recorded us. And the real kicker, you know the song, I'm just a love machine and I won't work for nobody but you. Ooh, yeah. You know, that song was written for us, for the Love Machine. We worked with the Miracles. That's right when Smokey Robinson left the group and Billy Griffin came on, and he and Pete Moore knew us because we worked with them. And they said, they wrote a song just for us. And they told Suzanne DePass, who was with Motown, Suzanne, the Love Machine, this would be a great song for the girls. So what happened was, you know what? They did it themselves. Suzanne said, you guys need to do that song yourself. And the rest is history. And we were so hurt and so bad, felt so bad after we heard it and knowing that it was for us. That would have been a great time and the best time in life to be a one-hit wonder.
Okay, so you were actually signed to Motown.
Yes, we were.
Okay, any crazy stories around Motown, Berry Gordy? I mean, was Michael Jackson there during that time?
Oh, well, yeah, the Jacksons were there. That was like, let me say, in 70, must have been like 74, I will say, we were with Motown. The Jacksons were there. I mean, we worked with Howard Davis, like I said, Norman Whitfield, Stevie Wonder. We were in full throttle with Motown at that time. Berry Gordy and Fuller Gordy and you name it. But we were still doing a lot of work outside of the United States because, you know, it was still, even though we were with Motown, if you didn't have a hit record and it was difficult in the States, but being in Europe was just a wonderful, absolutely great place to be performing. People loved us there. And, you know, as close as we knew Don Cornelius and Dick Griffey and everybody, the Love Machine just couldn't get on Soul Train. That was one of our big regrets. And our manager, John Daniels, was like this with Don Cornelius, but you just had to have a hit song to be on there. So that always takes me back to, had we known that the Miracles wrote that song, The Love Machine, for us, or had we had a hit song, we you know, like I said, you know, there's a lot of groups that had a one-hit wonder. At this point, we wouldn't have mind to be one. But there's a lot of videos out there. People can actually go on YouTube and look and see The Love Machine with Kathleen Bradley. And we did several big TV shows in Paris and Germany and France that have been taped. And thank God now, over the years, we're able to go back and kind of get some of that stuff and look at it. Whereas before, you know, because you don't have the cameras, you don't have the videotapes like we have now, that we weren't able to take a lot of photos and videos and have the privilege of doing things on the spare of the moment to tape and have for memories. But there's a lot of good memories that we have that some people have captured.
Okay, and you went on to do a bunch of TV shows. I guess Good Times, Red Fox Show,
Right.
Days of General Hospital,
Right.
Different World at one
Right.
point.
Yes, yeah. Yes, actually, after I left, well, let me stop you there for a minute. After I left the Love Machine, I actually went with one other singing group called Destination. Now, Destination was two girls and one guy, myself, Linda Theus, and Danny Lugo. We actually signed with Butterfly MCA Records. So I was with MCA Records as well. See, a lot of people don't know that about me. Oh, Miss Parker. Miss Parker got a little talent up in here, okay? So what had happened was I got with MCA Butterfly Records. And we actually got on the Billboard charts with a hit song that was back in the disco day. It must have been in like 78. And we did a remake of Curtis Mayfield's Move On Up, da 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 da. Hush now, child, and don't you cry. Move on up, Destination. So we had a great time. We worked on the Merv Griffin Show. We did the Copacabana. We worked a lot throughout the United States, and it was just that hard hitting disco sound. And it was a wonderful time being there. I only did that for about 2 years or so, because they had some other groups that were traveling and doing things. But after that, I really got back more into my acting and my modeling and what have you, and did some of the TV shows that you mentioned. And Then went on and got married for one time and had a wonderful, beautiful daughter. And actually, after that, I did a little bit more TV and some other things. And then, lo and behold, second time is the better time around. You know, they say, second time. Do you believe that?
Hmm. I do believe that.
Do you know that?
I
Have
know
you
that.
experienced that?
Yes. Yes, I have. Yes,
It
I
is.
have.
It truly is. You know, everything happens, I believe, for divine reason and divine order. And the man I'm with now today, which we've been married 31 years, we have a son, and he's 31. But actually, 3 months after I had my son, I got a call from my agent, Kathleen, they're looking for a Black model on The Price is Right. They need an African American model on The Price is Right. You would be wonderful for that. So I'm like, well, cool. But you know, actually, and being in this business, our face and our body is our passport. We have to stay looking the way we look that sells us. And of course, you know, being in shape for me was okay because I always work out and I was in a good shape. She said, and they want you to wear a swimsuit. I'm like, okay, 3 months after baby, I'm ready. I didn't have too much baby fat, okay? So I did. I went in for the audition, wore my swimsuit, had to go back 3 or 4 times for the auditions and did some shows. And lo and behold, thank God, I was chosen. So I was the first African-American model on The Price is Right. I was the first 4th model on the show. And first one that actually really even had children on the show. There was Janice, Diane, and Holly that were on that show. And I was on there actually for 10 years. 10 years. You know, probably yourself being in this industry, in Hollywood, in the business and TV for 10 years, to be on any type of TV show on an ongoing run is really just a phenomenon in itself. I'm very grateful to have done that.
Well, there was some drama that happened at the end of your tenure at The Price is Right. Let's
Funny
talk
you should
about that.
mention that. I actually wrote a book. I
There
think
we
this is a
go.
good time to bring that book out, isn't it? I wrote a book. It was, you know, I got fired. Bob Barker won't mention or say that we were literally fired. Myself and Janice. Janice Pennington had been there 29 years. I was there for 10 years. And we were called into Bob's dressing room, and he wasn't there. He let Fremantle people that still now kind of own The Price is Right and told us that we were going to be let go. We would no longer be a Barker Beauty. They wanted to do a new TV show, a model search, which was like a dagger. Who knew? Nobody knew that was coming. We were blindsided. And we filed some, lawsuits against them because it was wrongful termination and what have you. And they settled with us. But, you know, it just really didn't turn out as well as we thought or would hope it would. And you just had to accept it. And it bothered me for a while. So I just really, had to keep on stepping and do what I did and did some other little shows and what have you. But at the end of the day, it was really a rude awakening for me. And I had this epiphany all along. I wanted to write a book, write about it. And I tell that to people now too, and people that are looking and watching the show. Think about your life. Think about how you feel. Everybody has a story to tell. No matter how small, no matter what you did, no matter how it goes in life, everybody has a story to write. And you can just, exaggerate and put it out there. But writing is such a great therapeutic thing. It's so therapeutic. I love the fact that I was able for a couple of years to sit down and get out my feelings, how I felt. I felt so terrible. I mean, it was like a bad blow. It was just so hurtful because those girls, they had been on that show 19, 20, 30 years. I knew this was going to be my, 20, 30 year run on the show. But then I wrote the book, and it's called Backstage at The Price is Right, Memoirs of a Barker Beauty. And it's been doing quite well. It's on Amazon. I have a lot of wonderful pictures in here and different things. And it's a really good read, a very good read. So if people get a chance, opportunity, get this book, pick it up. It's on my website, right? But it was cool. One of my journeys.
Well, you referred in the book to Bob Barker as cantankerous.
Mm-hmm.
Explain that.
And that was being very nicely cantankerous. At first, let me say this. But the overall 10 years I was there was really wonderful for the most part. And there was a lot of drama and trauma going on backstage and with Diane and cat fights and Diane and Holly and Janice. I wasn't really put in that situation. But Bob and Diane, they were having a sexual relationship when I got there, okay? And Diane befriended me and told me a lot of the juicy good things and stuff and whatever. And, I kind of swore to secrecy that I would never say anything or tell, but she started, as I found out, saying some things about me or whatever, because I did confide in her and tell her some things. But she was telling then what I told her not to tell. So I figured, hell, after 10 or 15 years, I'm going to tell on her behind, okay? So I did that. But anyway, she and Bob had a sexual relationship and it was mutual, consensual. And Bob was dating another woman at the time, and she found out about it and gave Bob an ultimatum. So he had to let Diane go. But he didn't really let her go in the right manner. So she was a woman scorned. And she was having some other difficulties there on the show with the other girls. And she ended up leaving. And at some point after she left, she filed a sexual harassment against Bob. We know that wasn't right. We knew it. Everybody knew it. But we did get to the point where we went in for a deposition. And we told it and we supported Bob. And he knew it. Bob said, I'm not paying her one red penny. He said, yes, we had a relationship. I'm not giving her one penny. He was cool and great and still there then when everything was okay. But after you have been accused of something that serious and of that nature, even though you get vindicated, it's so very difficult for that aura that lingers over you to be dismissed. And people will always and still have some type of suspicion that this was something that happened that he might have done, even though it was shown that he didn't. And that kind of lingered for so many years with Bob. That really took a little pep out of his step for a while. And after Diane had left, before she left, we used to be able to talk on the set. He would interview us and say things. And pretty much after that, things changed so much around there that, he really treated us a little differently. And the protocols changed a bit. And he just got really full of himself and we were like put to the side because, people love The Price is Right. They love Bob and they love the models. People tune in to see us with their little scantily clad little swimsuits on and bikinis and the spa with the robe and the towel on and everything. So we were such a viable part of that show, pretty much as he was. And it just changed. He got a little, I did say cantankerous, and that was putting it mildly. And he let some other people go that year that I was let go, that were in staff that had been with him for many, many years, and they got blindsided. They had no idea they were going to get fired or let go. So he was, at that point, he blamed it on Fremantle, which took over for Goodson Productions. And, it just didn't end well for a lot of people, unfortunately.
Well, I just looked it up. Diane Parkinson just listed last year she listed her home in Westlake Village for over $3 million. So seems like she got a little bit of money along the way from Bob.
Well, she got a little bit of money. I think when she left, she was able to get a retirement package. And I don't think Bob didn't settle or pay her any settlement money behind that. She was able to get her like a pension or some kind of retirement package or disability. But believe me, it didn't really come from her suing Bob and hush money or anything of that nature, because it was nothing at all like sexual harassment. And everybody on the set knew it. So, but you had to be either on Bob's side or Diane's side. Not really many people, not anybody at all was on Diane's side. It was like, you got to be careful who you choose and how you pick your battles and who you think is going to be on the winning end at the end of the day. That was just one of the lawsuits. And then with Holly, of course, Holly, she was there for many years, and she had gained some weight. And she gained weight because she was on steroids and because of her health. And so they really gave her a heck about that, man. I'm telling you, for years. And she tried to lose some weight and what have you, and she just couldn't unless she went off the steroids, which if she goes off that, that's her health will decline. So it's like a catch-22. If anybody knows about steroids and taking those and how it affects your body, it's kind of crazy. And the fact that that happened with her and that she did not do and go in for the deposition when Diane was being let go, Bob had that in the back of his mind and held that against Holly for many years. So anyway, she was let go as well. And things snowballed. And it was really, and when I really, after I got let go, thought about how everything happened, and it stemmed from Diane, from the deposition with her, from Holly not doing the deposition, from Holly gaining a little weight, for Bob and Holly having this out. And then when Holly sued Bob and The Price is Right for wrongful termination because of her weight, well, yet and still we had to go in for another deposition. And we went in for a deposition. Me and Diane, Janice were the only two models that were left there. We had gone through a plethora of different models. Nikki Ziering was there, Gina Lee Nolan. Gina Lee, who went on to go with Baywatch and did Baywatch. And then we did a deposition for Holly, for her and Bob, and we said some things that Bob didn't really agree with or like. So in essence, what had happened was, at the end of the day, because we didn't see it the Bob way, that's when we really got the axe. A lot of people that did the deposition, even on the backside, got let go. But, you know, like I said, everything happens for a reason. Just a blessing to have been there.
Well, then in 1995, you got the role as Miss Parker in the movie Friday.
Right.
And I've actually interviewed a lot of the people around that movie. You know, pretty much everyone except Ice Cube and Chris Tucker I've interviewed at some point. Number one, how did you get the role of Miss Parker?
Well, funny you should ask. And once again, you know what? When I was on The Price is Right, which I was on that show from 1990 to 2000, Ice Cube, he would watch The Price is Right. And he found my agent, and he told his people basically when I found out later, he said, hey, I want to get that black lady or that sister from The Price is Right to be in the movie and play the role of Mrs. Parker. So see, once again, The Price is Right was really probably one of the biggest, most wonderful things that had happened to me in my life, one of them. And he saw me on the show and asked me, my agent, they called for me to go in and do an audition. So I did. I went in, I auditioned for the role. I think there was like me or maybe one other. He kind of pretty much had it set in his mind that he really wanted me to do it. So of course you would have a backup in case I wasn't capable or able to do it. And I proved that I was able, and I landed the job. And obviously, you know, being and doing that role has been, once again, like I always say, my two biggest claim to fame is The Price is Right and Friday. I mean, what a blessing. How wonderful and divine that all this would have happened to me. And it's still going on. Of course, The Price is Right. And of course, Friday, we're in the 25th anniversary right now. 25 years. Can you believe that? And people are still looking at it. And those residuals are still coming in strong. We're still getting paid. So it's wonderful. I love it. And it's led to so many other, you know, things, speaking engagements. And I'm able to lend my name and help out young ladies and people who are underprivileged and traveled a lot. And just, you know, it's been a blessing. And it's been helped me to give back as well, because the people that I come in contact with know who I am. They love that movie. And of course, the movie has led other directors and writers and people to try to emulate it and write something similar as to what that was. But there'll never be another First Friday. They tried.
So in that movie, you're on your front lawn as Ice Cube and Chris Tucker are walking down the street, and you're basically watering one plant. There's like a bunch of dirt in your front yard, and there's one plant that you're watering.
I know it. You know what? And it was just meeting them at that point. Who knew they were going to be anybody of that magnitude? Of course, Ice Cube was pretty much famous at that time, but people have brought it to my attention and everyone's attention now. Even Snoop Dogg had put it out there that people were so focused on Mrs. Parker with leaning over and bending over with my body parts and just using it and working my little jelly. Nobody ever realized or noticed there was no grass up there. Who cared? I didn't even know, but there was maybe a few little plants or something. And Snoop Dogg did put it out maybe a year or two ago. He said, wow, nobody ever really noticed Miss Parker was watering the grass and there was no grass at all. But who cares, right? Boy.
Right. And, in that scene, Chris Tucker goes, when you gonna let me fuck Miss Parker?
Right.
And you were like, what? He's like, nothing.
Okay. I know. The thing about that whole movie, and F. Gary Gray, the director, and that was his directorial debut, he gave us so much reign of freedom to do what we should do and could do. And that's what really made that movie so much a big success, that the actors were able to be more of themselves and be more natural. You followed the storyline, you followed the script a little bit. And like even with Bernie Mac and people going across the street, when he's talking about, hey, Miss Parker, the Lord is my shepherd. I see what I want going across the street, doing different things and all of that. Everybody has improvised and said things. Even when my husband, little Mr. Tony Parker, who's still a friend of mine, he was throwing my clothes out after a while when he caught me and Bernie Mac. And, I just said, hey, baby, we was just praying, baby. I made that up, just running out the house. And just little things like that. And all along with Chris and AJ and people that were involved in the movie were able to bring out such a wonderful, natural acting aurora of different, things that were going on within that character, made it so special.
Yeah, because Bernie Mac was such a talent. Like, he really just killed that little role that he had in that movie.
Didn't he? I'm telling you, he and I became friends after that. And just so sad. I still, to this day, it's hard to believe he's dead, And he had the disease sarcoidosis. And actually, I knew what that was because a very good girlfriend of mine had it as well. And she's with the sarcoidosis community and activists. So he had that as well. And I knew what it was when it happened to him. And it's not sickle cell, but it's something like on the same kind of level that sickle cell is, relationship to how people die and it gets in your body and your cells, and it's very difficult to overcome. But he was just a wonderful actor, comedian, and he will be so missed. I mean, he is missed now. Such a viable part of that movie.
Well, I interviewed John Witherspoon, and we talked about that movie. And he said that everyone got $5,000 to do that movie. And I remember when I talked to AJ Johnson, he said he didn't even get that. He just basically got gas money.
$5,000. Everybody else on the show, they're going to say they made more money. Anybody made no money on that movie.
Okay.
5,000.
Did Chris Tucker do about the same, you think?
About the same thing.
About the same.
Yeah.
That's why I was mad. I didn't get no $5,000.
You got less than $5,000?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
They paid me gas money to get up and then back home.
You did it for free?
Basically.
Basically.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, truly. What's what they call the favorite nations? I don't know if you've heard of favorite nations. A lot of people and actors might know what it is. Favorite nations is when you have all the actors, that whether you have 5, some names may be bigger than others or small or whatever. If you're on the same level of working during the show, you're going to get paid the same thing. And nobody really made any money actually taping the movie. Where we made the money and still getting some wonderful residual checks right now is the most incredible part of it. I've made more money on the residuals than I could tell you. And it's still and it's still going strong. People are watching that like every day, all over the world. It is everywhere, and every day, all the time, it's on. So that's the blessing in itself. I've done a lot of different movies and TV shows too, where I did like little or nothing, believing in people to pay when it gets out, and which some of them have paid off, and some not. But you're able to get some film on yourself at best. So all of that usually comes into play. So it's worth it out here, and this business is very, very competitive.
Well, I guess in the movie there was a part when Chris Tucker called your character a hoe, which you got offended at, and they ended up not using it.
Right. Well, we did the reading, and I didn't really grasp the whole concept of what Miss Parker was all about. I don't think I got the whole script, but we did sit down and do a table reading. Did we? I can't remember. Well, that was in Harlem Nights. I was in Harlem Nights. We didn't do a table reading on Friday, but we did sit down and rehearse. And he was just talking. He was slamming Miss Parker. Miss Parker ain't this shit. Miss Parker's a hoe. Miss Parker. It was kind of very offensive. I'm like, wait, hold on. I just thought she was a sexy next door neighbor, and what have you. So that was something that was, to me, then a little offensive, but I shouldn't have taken it that way. But in essence, how it all turned out, Miss Parker was a hoe. She was definitely the neighborhood hoe. That's for sure. But that's okay. She's a good paid hoe at the time. Oh.
Well, was there any reason why you weren't in any of the sequels, or was it just going a different direction?
I think he was taking it in a different direction. There were so many people that were not in that. The second Friday, to me, was a bust. That took it way far out of the realm. I think, I might have seen that maybe once or twice. That's the one where he moved out to the valley somewhere, just left the neighborhood altogether, and with the Hispanics. And like I said, I think I've seen that maybe once or twice. I was just disappointed with it the first time I saw it, so I didn't bother to watch it again. But the third one with Cat Williams and, of course, the different people and characters he used, which were still not a lot of the major characters from the first Friday that people loved. That one was better. That one worked out okay. So I don't know why he didn't choose to use a lot of the characters that were in the original. I think he was just, I couldn't even tell you why. I can sit here and make up some stuff, but I don't know. But you might have heard that, when John Witherspoon died, rest his soul, we were all able to get together after so many years that we had not really last year seen each other, sometimes people within last 24 years. And we were all together, a lot of us, and we talked and reminisced. And Ice Cube, he spoke at John Witherspoon's funeral, and he did say people keep asking him all the time, and there have been rumors flying around about the last Friday, and especially was Miss Parker going to be in it, or this person, or what have you. So he said that Lionsgate, who evidently owns the name, put all the money out for Friday, that he gave them, sent them, he and DJ Poole sent like a couple of scripts to them over a period of time, and that they rejected them. So now what was in the script, what it was all about, who was included with it, I don't even know. I don't have a clue. Obviously, I'm not that close to Ice Cube or Pooh to find out. But I guess she had to go back to the drawing board. And it was so unfortunate. He really wanted to get it done with John. And here it is, all this time after the rejections of the scripts, John passed away. So obviously he won't be able to be in it, but I'm sure he'll do something, reminisce maybe back on him or something. I don't know how any of it's going to work out. But I just hope and pray that we can get to do it soon. He did say there at the funeral he would like to use pretty much all of us back and bring us all back in somehow. My girlfriend is Felicia. Bye, Felicia. You know Angela Means? Now that's one girl you need to get on your show.
I did. I interviewed Angela Means.
Oh, you
We
did? Isn't she a sweetheart?
Go on the VladTV YouTube channel. It's a whole big interview. And I remember in our interview, she said, you know, she's got a whole thing worked out where her and Debo get married and have kids. And, you know, right. and we talked about how epic it would be to do like a Last Friday and put all the characters in it, to put Cat Williams and Chris Tucker and Michael Blackson and you and Felicia and
Money Mike and Pinky. Pinky is my favorite character.
Say
that shit again. Say that shit again, nigga.
You know, Michael Blackson, you, Debo, AJ, you know, Pops, like everybody.
Sugar, give Auntie Sugar some sugar.
Ricky Smiley is the Santa Claus, like, you know what I mean? Like everybody, just bring back everyone, even if it's for a little 30-second cameo. Imagine how huge that would be.
You know,
tiny, all the characters should be back in, but you know, it's still got to be. I don't want to see it. So I mean, that people do evolve, of course, and move out, but it can still be like within a Baldwin Hill setting area, but not so plush where people have made a lot of money, but some maybe have, some maybe haven't. It's got to be like an equal medium there where we still are kind of hoodish, and we go back to the hood and give to the hood. And you know, I did mention to Ice Cube, I said, you know what would be really a real good thing for Miss Parker? That me and Mr. Parker obviously got back together and we have a child, we have a son, and this boy looks just like Bernie Mac. Looks exactly like Bernie Mac, black Bernie Mac, bug eyes, everything. And then the thing about it is, Mr. Parker really thinks it's his son. This is my boy. Look, my boy, know they look like me. He can't admit it. He knows it's not his child. Oh, and Ice Cube really liked that part. He said, yeah, that's funny. That's funny. So I don't know. I'm not in touch with him, unfortunately. And I hope, you know, at some point soon that we can all get together and really have a great one last hurrah. And the Last Friday will be as big and successful as the first.
Oh yeah, imagine like a little dark-skinned kid who talks like Bernie Mac. Like that would just be so comedy.
Oh my God, they got him out there. He goes, oh yeah, hey mom, what's going on? You have to. You have to. That's gonna be just a hoot. That you gotta have that in there.
I'm under the impression that you've always been all natural.
Yeah.
What do you think these days when you have women who do what you used to do, you know, in your earlier days, but now they could get their breasts done, they can get their butts done, they can get lipo, they could basically build whatever body they want. They could create a body like yours in the operating room. How does that make you feel as someone who's never done that?
Well, you know, everything has evolved in life in this world, and everything's available to women to enhance themselves. These are all real, and everything I have is real, but I have a little bit more of certain parts than I really want around here. But, you know, it's there and available. Why not do it? You can do it if you want to, as long as you don't take things too much out of perspective. Okay, you should really try to keep yourself in a nice little curvaceous way and not build up too much butt. These women sometimes are going out of places and getting their little injections and shot in their butts and things that have really turned out not so good for them, having too big a breast and not going to the right place. Just make sure that you go to somebody who is really qualified and verified and bona fide before you start messing with your body and getting all this stuff done to yourself. Because, you know, we all need a little Botox, this, that, and the other here and there. And I'm grateful that a lot of that is out there. And you can see a lot of the entertainers and actresses and models and people that are in getting in age that have had certain work done, and that's perfectly fine. And you know, there ain't nothing wrong with it.
Well, Kathleen Bradley, I thank you so much for joining me today. Been a big fan of what you did in Friday. I actually didn't know about the whole Price is Right thing until going through all my notes and everything.
Right.
And Bob Barker is still alive at 96 years old. He's still kicking.
Yes, he is. He's 96. He's still alive. And how, ironic that I had a fan of mine from The Price is Right just yesterday. And yesterday was Janice's birthday. Janice from Pennington from The Price is Right. She and I used to talk and communicate all the time, but I did send her a thank you. Somebody posted me, it was my birthday. It was my birthday's in January 10th. I take all cards and money, people, thank you, cash apps, thank you, January 10th. And the guy, it was my birthday show, and Bob and I hugged, and Bob said, happy birthday. And he kissed me on the cheek, and that was in 2000. That was the year I got let go. I didn't even remember that show because really right now they're not showing a lot of the shows, and they're in TV land or something. I don't know, but I don't think they've put those shows back in circulation now. But when they do, that's going to be really nice paycheck. But Bob, I always will remember him as a real nice, cool guy for the most part. I did learn a lot about him, like that's in the book. Once again, this book, people, it's a great read. I learned a lot about him and his personality from other people after I wrote the book. But I'll remember him as the guy, nice, cool guy who was on stage and just giving everybody all the love and the kudos and the best wishes and have your pet spayed and neuter, Bob Barker.
Well, Kathleen, thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all the best in whatever endeavors you have coming up.
Thank you. My pleasure. Blessings.
Take care. Peace.